So, we still have more, yeah. A lot has happened in the last few days, especially with cone race coming to a head that influenced a lot of things. Um, so, if from the last podcast, you probably remembered we mentioned installers. We have actually begun working and development on our own installer from scratch. It's in full swing. It's going strong. If you want to check it out, it's on our GitLab page at gitlab.com/reborn-os-team/Fenix-installer. Fenix as in Fenix. That might seem strange to you, but the background on that is Fenix is Galician. I think I pronounced that right. It's an area in Spain, right north of Portugal. If you've ever looked on a map, you've seen, oh yeah, Spain covers that tip of Europe, but then there's a little Portugal there, and it doesn't quite go up all the way. On the western side of Spain, there's a little northern section of Spain that kind of overlaps, like this kind of just hovers over the top of it. I don't know if you want to envision it like a hat, maybe. So that's where Galicia is, and Fenix is the Galician pronunciation and spelling of the phoenix, the mythical bird. It's constantly reborn in fire, and every time it dies, obviously it's reborn and comes back stronger than ever before. We liked that symbolism because, well, partly our name, Reborn, and the fact that it lasts forever. No matter how terrible things get, no matter what happens to it, it can always come back just as strong as before. And that's the approach we're taking with this installer. No matter how bad things get, if we get stuck in a rut, if in development, if something happens, if it's a bit shaky at first, we can always come back stronger. Just like Reborn, the future is up to us. We can determine it. We can do pretty much whatever we want with this installer and go wherever we want with it. So we would have just used the normal spelling of Phoenix. However, that is actually taken by another distro, Fenix OS. It's if you've ever heard of Remix OS, which is sort of discontinued, is complicated. But anyways, if you've ever heard of Remix OS, it's sort of like that, pretty much exactly like that actually. It allows you to boot into an Android system, but it's configured for the desktop. So you get a taskbar, you get full access to the Google Play Store right off the bat, right away. You get a little menu, like a normal system menu. You can even, I think, attach a clock widget to your desktop. It's really interesting. I've tried it before. I actually had it installed on my laptop for about a week. This was before I started Reborn and before I even discovered Arch, but I found it interesting. It's kind of fun to play around with. It gives you full compatibility with Android programs in case you want to do some games on a bigger screen. Maybe you have a touchscreen laptop. This would be really cool for that. Anyways, getting off topic here. They already took the name Phoenix. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was because they're rebirthing the Android experience and bringing it to the desktop. I'm not 100% sure. That's just a guess. But, or would that be a hypothesis? Because it's based off solid ideas and anyways, moving on. Me and my tangents. Fenix. So we're calling ours Fenix, which is the Galician pronunciation and spelling of the phoenix. That way we avoid confusion issues as well as just potential copyright issues with them. I don't think copyright would ever be an issue. I mean, we're Linux. That kind of says it all. However, still, technically, someone could argue that, and technically they'd be right. So either way, it doesn't seem fair to them to copy their idea. It could cause confusion. So we just went with Fenix. Fenix. Kind of interesting analogy there. I thought we liked it, so that's what we're naming the installer. Again, the URL for it is gitlab.com/reborn-os-team/Fenix-installer. That should get you right to all our code we're currently working on. You might see that we only have like a page and a half done, but hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good out of the whole installer. We're getting there, and of course, would anyone like to help us with this? We're always open to ideas, contributions. Just feel free to do a Git pull request. open an issue, we'd love to hear from you. Even just DM me, direct message on our forums or Discord, whichever you prefer. We'd love help and ideas. You could even just mention it in the comments below, anything. We always love it. And maybe you could help us improve it. Ideas are always welcome. The last thing, so far we've covered the Condrace ordeal, the RUM update, and the installer development. So quite a lot. But our very, very last thing is that last time, I kind of forgot to mention some of our newer team members. Some people that have joined Reborn in more recently. The first one is really recent, Artie. He's from Discord. I believe some of you know him as Artisan. I could be pronouncing that incorrectly. I'm sorry, anybody who knows the correct pronunciation of that, including Artie. But he has joined our team. He's specifically working on some of our design and artwork, and he's been very helpful so far. Plus, it's nice to have more people to get ideas from, and obviously, being part of the team, you're able to be in more constant dialogue. So that's been very nice, and he's been very helpful. It's just nice to have him on the team. The other thing was I never actually gave Shivan Pro a correct welcome, a proper welcome on any web page I wrote up, any news outlet, or just casual mention. I never did, and I'm sorry about that. He is absolutely incredible. He's actually been the one that's been heading our efforts with the installer. He came up with that idea to do an original installer, actually, and he's been the one driving the force behind it. I'm obviously jumping on that as well. I was the main one who worked on the RUM update and makeover that we recently had, so now that that is winding down, I'll be joining him with the installer. And he's been instrumental. He also was more of an expert at Qt and GTK development than I ever have been, and he's helped us out a lot with some of the more intricate things, such as getting our toggle options to work in the RUM update. That was actually a lot harder than you'd think, because what we have to do in the background is create a sort of array type thing, and then whenever you disable or enable the toggle option for a specific thing, it inserts into a certain location that array or object, a 1 or a 0, and if it's a 1, then when you click apply, we act on that and execute that option. If it's a 0, we don't do anything. That was actually a lot harder to correctly implement than we ever thought, and he came in and fixed up our code for us there. That was super helpful. He's also the one behind the list of packages that will be removed when you click the remove unnecessary packages. That option, again, is highly unreliable, as people have found out, but Pac-Man is only so smart. It can only figure out so much, and so sometime down the road we hope to be able to add the capability to manually type in and backspace in that package list that is displayed, so that you're able to remove or add packages. Say Pac-Man messes up and wants to remove something that's vital to you, such as it wants to remove VLC for me every time when I because it views it as unnecessarily necessary, apparently, which I suppose it is, but I don't know why it's trying to move that from my system. So we hope to add the capability to be able to just directly backspace or add more packages to that generated list that you're shown in the future. As of now, it doesn't do that, but we hope to add that sometime soon. That's the very last thing on my to-do list for our major RUM update. And yeah, so he was instrumental in that. Without him, we wouldn't have that list shown to you, and that's basically what he's been doing. He's just very good with GTK. He's gone very good with Glade, which is what we're using to render our GUI or GUI, depending how you say it, for our GTK programs such as RUM. And that's pretty much it. What else? Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, so that's what's happened in the last few days. For a short recap, we had the Condrace possible merging idea has been completed, resolved, whatever you want to call it. We're not completely merging, but we're going to be working closely together. So you could say it's like a half merge. I don't know what you want to call it. And then with Rum, we have another update that adds tooltips in the future. We hope to make it so you can manually edit the generated package list that is shown to you of what Pacman will remove or deems unnecessary in our remove unnecessary packages option. And development on our own installer is in full swing. We're using Fenix, I should say Fenix, as our name for it so as not to complicate things with the actual Fenix OS. And the new team members, Artie and Shivan Pro, although Shivan Pro really has been with us for months now, but I never gave him a proper welcome. So there you go. Have a great day, week, and as I ended earlier, year, month, life, all of the above. Hope to hear from you soon, and I would love some feedback. Bye for now.